what's up? It is your boy Empty. So as you can see, I'm about to bring you a list of cards that you should be able to craft, some tech cards and some staple cards that you should be able to craft from playing Duel Master. Duel Master is extremely fucking fun, and I've been having a blast. But let's just get right into the list. So for the first one, this is going to be a staple that you're going to be running. It is semi-limited. It is Ash Blossom and Joyous Spring. Now, this card is my absolute favorite in the entire game. Ash Blossom basically is able to negate almost 90% of the card pool in the game. She can negate cards that will add from deck to hand, that will special summon from deck, or that will send a card from deck to graveyard. So she is semi-limited in Master Duel, which is fine, but honestly, she is a very good card. It stops cards like Maxi, Foolish Burial, or anything really that would like add cards, Pot of Prosperity, and Pot of Desires. And I think you should really run it. It is extremely powerful, and it is an ultra rare, so I recommend that you craft it. Mind you, 2 copies is fine. It uses about 60 ultra rare points, so you should be fine. As for the next card, it is Pot of Desires. It's very simple. Banish the 10 cards of your deck face down, draw 2 cards. Banish decks such as Grand Maju benefit from this. It is extremely good. It can bump them up to a high attack, but this can also be used in other decks such as combo decks, any deck that you want, stun, burn. The top 10 cards of your deck are not going to be doing anything most of the time, and it's not like you're going to wait to draw into them because games are not going to last that long, especially if you're trying to climb up the ladder. Go ahead and run this at multiple copies. Don't run it at one. It is honestly just max out on every single copy of this card. It is very good, and drawing 2 is basically a good thing in this game. So you should honestly have this in your deck. And for the next card, this is more of a, a little tech card. It's Trap Eater. Now, if you hate stun decks and you absolutely hate Eldritch or whatever, or any continuous trap like Imperial Order, this card will get rid of it. Basically, it must be special summoned by sending one face subtract card your opponent controls to the graveyard. It cannot be special summoned by anyways. It is a free body. It is level 4. And if you run Xyz, hey, this card is really good. Not much to say about that other than that, but it's really good. It's honestly a decent tech to play. Now, honestly, this next card here, you absolutely do want to be running 3 of at all times. Nibiru the Primal Being. Yeah, this card is anti-combo. Basically, it just shits on combo decks. If your opponent does not establish a monster negation or any type of negation on the field by the time they summon their 5th monster, you can honestly just activate this card from your hand and tribute every single card they have on the field, every monster they've summoned. And you special summon this on the field, they just get 1 big token. You special summon the token in defense mode. It is a board wipe, and it is a absolute must. This card destroys almost everything in the meta right now, so you definitely want to be running this at 3. And honestly, it's honestly a staple. If you run Maxi, you also run this card. And as for the next card, ladies and gentlemen, if you hate hand traps, hey yo, you might want to run this card as well. It is semi-limited, but it's actually pretty good. Called by the Grave. You can target one monster in your opponent's graveyard, banish, and if you do, its effects are negated until the end of the next turn. This stops more than just hand traps. It can honestly stop graveyard effects of monsters you want to not even deal with. Very good. It is at 2, but that's completely fine. It's a really good card. Honestly, you always want to be running this. If you're running combo, stun, whatever, if you're just tired of dealing with hand traps, this card is a must. It is really good. Now, this next card I don't see anybody really talk about, but it's actually a very good, decent card that I think you should consider running. It is Dimensional Shifter. So this card is also pretty straightforward. If you have no cards in your graveyard, quick effect, you can send this card from your hand to the graveyard. And until the end of the next turn, any card sent to the graveyard is banished instead. This is great against possibly everything that doesn't banish. Yeah, there's a lot of graveyard effects in Yu-Gi-Oh, if you didn't know, that kind of like to recycle and recur cards a lot. And if you pretty much stop combo decks from popping off and then wasting all their materials, they will be able to establish a board, yes, but their materials will mainly just be banished, so they can't really obtain them unless they have some sort of card effect that benefits off of banishing. Definitely worth running, and I think you should keep an eye out for it. And last but certainly not least, this card is absolutely great. Dark Ruler No More. What is Dark Ruler no more, you may ask? Well, negate the effects of all face-up monsters your opponent currently controls until the end of this turn. Also, for the rest of the turn, they take no damage. Neither player can activate monster effects in response to this card's activation. This card is crazy busted. So if you're climbing ranked and if you're up in Diamond, you're going to see a lot of Tri-Brigade. You're going to see a lot of Lyrilusk. You're going to see a lot of Drytron. And the main thing all those decks have in common is that they all place up monster negates, not any spell and trap negates. Usually the spell and trap cards that they are searching in the back is usually probably like infinite impermanence or any card that will like search their deck for any other monsters. But this, if you are ever going first, this stops hand traps, this stops graveyard effects, this stops on field effects. And it's actually really, really, really good. So if you're playing any type of deck, I recommend that you do play this. Now, unfortunately, this is an ultra rare, so keep that in mind. You will have to like use up your resources, and you know, make sure that you're using your resources wisely for specific cards. But I think this is definitely a staple that you should be running. Especially if you're having trouble for those later matchups. The only deck I don't see this working again is probably like Eldritch. But Eldritch runs mainly like spell and traps and stuff. So yeah, this is pretty much my list of cards that you should be using in Master Duel. And that about rounds up my list of cards that, you know, I think you should take a look at in Master Duel. You know, all these cards are really, really good, especially if you're climbing ranked. I know those matchups get really, really hard. And I could name more. I could probably make another list of cards you should be using or that you can use. Tech cards that, you know, you should probably look at, you know, every now and then. I'll probably make some videos on some decks you could probably play for fun. I am trying to construct a few before I actually do that. But yeah, that was pretty much my list. Hopefully you all enjoyed this video. Go ahead and build your favorite decks. If you want to build anime decks, if you want to build Yugi decks, you know, any 5Ds deck or Arc 5, go for it. You know, this game is actually really, really solid. It's very friendly towards beginners. The only thing I say that if you are trying to play this game, that you read a few cards here and there. There are a lot of confusing effects, and sometimes with Yu-Gi-Oh, the wording is kind of off, and certain card activations don't really activate with the way they're worded. But yeah, and then, you know, game is actually pretty solid. Play with your friends. I actually highly encourage any newer player that wants to get into Yu-Gi-Oh to play it. Because it is honestly a fun game when you get to like actually like build a deck that you like. Maybe you like its design or its aesthetic. But yeah, hopefully you all enjoyed this video. And tell me what you want to see next from me. Like I said, really enjoy this game. Really enjoy it. And honestly, I'm looking forward to future updates this game may have. And a lot of the crazy decks. And I think maybe they'll update it to what the current TCG is at. But yeah, let me know what you all think. Comment, like, sub. And until next times, I'll see you later. Adios.